What would happen if Jeffrey Dahmer ended up as Dexter Morgan's next target? It's a creepy and exciting idea, two very different kinds of killers facing off. Dahmer, wild and unpredictable, versus Dexter, calm and calculated. This isn't just about catching someone, it's about whether Dahmer, with his messy crimes and chaotic nature, could even stand a chance against someone as careful and clever as Dexter. Would he see it coming? Could he stop it? Or would he end up just another victim of Dexter's sharp precision? Dahmer's chaos was the opposite of everything Dexter's code stood for. Taking him down wouldn't just be another kill, it would be a test of Dexter's rules and his control. Dexter lives by a strict set of rules that guide every part of his life. His code helps him stay in control, ensuring that he only targets those who truly deserve to die. It's his way of justifying his dark urges, turning them into something that feels purposeful. The code is what keeps him grounded. Without it, Dexter would be lost to the chaos of his own mind. His victims are carefully chosen, each kill planned with precision. Dexter doesn't just go after anyone, he targets criminals who've slipped through the justice system. It's this careful control that allows Dexter to maintain a facade of normalcy. He has a job, a family, relationships. His darkness is hidden, but the code makes sure it stays in check, allowing him to function in a world that doesn't know the truth. On the other hand, Dahmer's actions were pure chaos. There was no guiding principle behind his crimes. His killings weren't about justice or purpose. They were driven by impulse, by a need to control and possess. Dahmer's crimes were messy and erratic, fueled by his own disturbing desires, with no real plan or reason beyond satisfying his twisted hunger. While Dexter works with precision and order, Dahmer's actions are unpredictable and emotional. Dexter's kills are methodical, clean. Dahmer's are raw, often leaving behind a trail of disorder and destruction. There's no moral justification behind Dahmer's actions. He kills for his own satisfaction, not to right any wrongs. In a face-off between these two, the difference is clear. Dexter's world is governed by structure and rules, while Dahmer's is nothing more than an unpredictable, chaotic spiral. Dexter's careful control would clash hard with Dahmer's erratic nature, and it's in this conflict that the real test would lie. If Dexter were to set his sights on Jeffrey Dahmer, the first thing he'd notice is the unpredictability of his target. Unlike the criminals Dexter usually hunts, Dahmer doesn't follow a pattern of justifiable actions. His killings are driven by uncontrollable urges, not by a twisted sense of justice. But Dexter, ever the professional, would quickly adapt. He would likely see Dahmer's behavior as a form of chaos that could be tamed, much like the killers he's tracked before. Dexter's first move would be to gather information, observing Dahmer's routines, trying to find any semblance of a pattern. He'd analyze the crime scenes, looking for the telltale signs of a man who's slipping up. Dexter thrives on detail, so Dahmer's lack of careful planning could actually work to his disadvantage. Where Dexter takes his time, calculates his every move, Dahmer's impulsivity would make him an easier target to track. It's a battle of patience versus chaos, and Dexter knows how to win with patience. But Dexter's hunt for Dahmer wouldn't just be about gathering evidence, it would be a mental game. Dexter thrives on understanding the psychology of his prey, and Dahmer is no exception. Dexter would study Dahmer's motivations, his deep-seated need for control, and his emotional disarray. Dahmer's unpredictability is a vulnerability Dexter can exploit. While Dahmer's actions are driven by a distorted need for power, Dexter would remain calm, calculating. He would never underestimate Dahmer, but he would understand that Dahmer's own mind would be his greatest weakness. Dexter, with his ability to compartmentalize his emotions and his ruthless efficiency, would keep his distance, biding his time to strike when Dahmer least expects it. The real challenge wouldn't be finding Dahmer, it would be playing the psychological game. Dexter would have to outsmart a man who lacks the discipline and control Dexter has carefully crafted over the years. And as the tension builds, Dexter would wait for the perfect moment, because in the world of Dexter Morgan, timing is everything. When the time finally comes, Dexter would approach Dahmer with the same calm, meticulous planning that defines all his kills. He wouldn't rush. There would be no hasty decisions or missteps. Dexter knows that when he targets someone, every detail matters, and Dahmer's carelessness is something he could exploit. The kill room would be prepared with surgical precision, each tool in place, each method calculated. Dexter knows how to handle his victims with cold professionalism, so Dahmer's chaotic nature would work in his favor. Dexter would keep Dahmer isolated, his surroundings controlled, minimizing any chance for Dahmer to make a sudden move. The very thing that makes Dexter deadly, the silence, the coldness, the unfeeling nature of his work, would be the tool that ensures his success. Dexter would wait for Dahmer to make a mistake, just as he always does, and when it happens, he would strike with the same precision that made him the Bay Harbor Butcher. But Dahmer isn't the type to go down easily. One of the most dangerous aspects of Dexter's world is the risk of his secret being exposed. If Dahmer were to discover who Dexter really is, if he figured out that the blood spatter analyst he's been hearing about is also a killer, the stakes would shift dramatically. Dexter's life, carefully crafted to conceal his darkness, would unravel in an instant. But would Dahmer uncover the truth? Dexter is a master of keeping his identity hidden, always staying one step ahead of those who get too close. However, Dahmer's disturbed mind might notice the oddities. Dexter's meticulousness, his cold demeanor, or even the way Dexter's victims often seem to fit a particular disturbing pattern. But Dahmer isn't exactly known for being a sharp investigator. His focus is always on his own twisted desires, leaving him vulnerable to missing crucial clues about his potential foe. Even if Dahmer did suspect, the question would remain, could he ever piece together Dexter's true identity in time to do anything about it? The danger is real, though. If Dahmer did make the connection, the balance would shift. Dexter's careful plans could be ruined, and the people he loves would be at risk. But it's unlikely that Dahmer would ever have the discipline to go after Dexter in a way that would expose him. Dexter's careful nature, paired with his ability to keep his personal life under wraps, means the odds are stacked against Dahmer in this battle of secrets. In the end, the real question is simple. Could Jeffrey Dahmer survive Dexter Morgan? The answer is most likely no. Dexter's calm, controlled way of operating would overpower Dahmer's chaotic, impulsive behavior. Dexter's methodical approach, carefully planned over years of experience, makes him a much more dangerous opponent than someone like Dahmer, who acted based on sudden, uncontrollable urges. Dahmer's randomness would work against him in a showdown with Dexter. While Dahmer killed without rules or order, Dexter follows a strict code which keeps him focused and precise. That control would make Dexter a far more efficient predator than Dahmer, whose lack of structure and planning would leave him vulnerable. In this battle, it's clear that Dexter's ability to maintain control would be the deciding factor. Dahmer's disorderly nature would be his downfall when faced with someone who is always in control of his actions. Dexter's world, one built on careful planning and strict rules, would easily overwhelm Dahmer's unpredictable chaos. So, while both men are killers, Dexter's approach would make him the ultimate survivor in this battle of minds and methods.